Hello everyone and welcome to another great day of NGS action. Today we have our second series of the day now, Division D between Dragon Gall Z and Cosmos. Now going to be a pretty fun matchup today as we take a look at the standings, and there is a bit of a gap there. It is 8 points for Cosmos, and Dragon Gall Z yet to win a map this season. But they did just promote from Division E, and they're definitely improving throughout the season. So I think them winning a map is only a matter of time at this point. And Cosmos definitely could be the team that they beat. As we can see in the standings, there is a bit of a gap between top 3 and the rest. So this should be a map that Dragon Gall Z could definitely try and take over. Now, we have already finished the map picks and bans. And first pick was selected by Dragon Gall Z. So the map bans are as follows. Cosmos banned out Garden of Terror and Dragonshire. Dragon Gall Z banned away Alterac Pass and Volskaya. And the map for game 1 will be Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now, Tomb of the Spider Queen is a pretty fun map. There's a lot of back and forth on it to start. But if you're able to get the lead early, if you're able to get a couple of those web weavers pushing in fast, if you're able to take down the forts without an answer, it's pretty easy to try and just snowball this map. It is definitely one of the more snowballing maps that we have in the NGS map pool. But now with that being said, we already have all 10 players in the lobby. 9.5 kind of. Someone's trying to join the lobby, but is struggling a little bit. But we'll see how that goes once they are able to join. It does seem like we should be able to get started pretty soon, assuming they're able to join into the lobby. Hopefully we don't have to remake as soon as I said that they managed to join. So that works out nicely. And like I said, this is the second series of the day. And I would like to apologize ahead of time just in case I am a little bit low energy. I had a really bad stomach bug, so I've been up since around 3 in the morning. Obviously, I already signed up for the double cast beforehand, and I will never leave any of these teams behind. But it should still be a good cast. It should still be a fun one. And hopefully the players will be able to bring a fun series for us to watch as well. So now with that, we do have every player already joined, and with an extra spectator as well. I'm sure that'll be sorted soon. It's fun sometimes watching these lobbies from the perspective of a caster. Sorry, yeah. We do have a rando in the thing, so probably will get removed shortly. But yeah, no, as I was saying, there's definitely a little bit of fun as a caster, because a lot of the time you're just kind of looking at stuff and you have no idea what's going on, and you're just kind of reacting to the way things are already going. And sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's frustrating, but I'll be honest, I'm used to it at this point, so most of the time I just find it pretty funny. But we did get rid of the rando. It looks like one of the teams ready. The ready check has already begun, and we should be getting started shortly. Now, I'm wondering what the drafts are going to be for this game. It is Tomb of the Spider Queen, so it is a bit of that smaller map. I know Joanna is very good on this map. Junkrat is as well. I don't know if either of these two teams do play it. And then Dahaka, obviously always good. This is definitely not the best map for Dahaka, and post nerfs is a little bit weaker, but I mean, still such a strong hero. So I wouldn't be surprised if Dahaka is picked or banned.
Tomb of the Spider Queen.
But either way, more importantly, we've already started the draft, and we're here with Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now let's get those predictions in. Y'all got 5 minutes. At least from, well, 4.5 minutes by the time you hear this, but you get the drift. You know how it is. But yeah, so first pick is going to be there for Dragon Gall Z. And I'm wondering if what they're going to decide to push, what they want to take. I mean, Vala's obviously going to be pretty strong. Johanna specifically is really good as both a frontline tank and is also really good on Tomb of the Spider Queen specifically, just because she's able to have that shield glare, she has that blind, and she's also able to kind of cancel any of those turn-ins for the gems. But it will be the Brightwing, the first ban coming out of Dragon Gall Z. Is a very solid healer. Now, obviously, it doesn't get full points on this small map just because the phase shift not going to be able to move around the map too much. But even without the phase shift, has a lot of really strong qualities. Like, because the phase shift is still going to heal a ton of HP, even if you don't go too far with it. You have the basic heal coming out from the pulse healing. I don't even think that's what it's called, but that's what I always call it. And then the AoE cleanse of the Soothing Mist makes Brightwing just a really powerful healer overall. Then Garrosh, going to be the first ban coming out of Cosmos, trying to remove that Playmaker. This is since this is a double cast, this is the third Garrosh ban we've seen today in all 3 games, and Johanna actually going to get banned out by Dragon Gall Z. So that is pretty interesting to me. It does show that they probably don't want it too much. There's something else they're looking for in those early picks, or there's a different tank that they want to play for their strategy. Because overall, I do think Johanna is a pretty solid first pick. But if that's not with their strategy, it's always better for teams to play around what they plan to play instead of what could or could not be a little bit better meta-wise. And Stitches is going to get banned away by Cosmos. Now, there's no more frustrating hero than Stitches. I believe last night, I think that was last night, we saw Bones just absolutely dominate on that Stitches on Alterac pass. A different game, obviously, but still really strong hero. Not surprised to see it get removed, as Moogle is going to lock in the Stukov. And, I mean, whenever you see a Stukov, or at least whenever I see a Stukov, my first thought is Varian. Varian Stukov is going to be a really solid combo, but definitely not needed. Also combos really well with other stuff like Leoric, any other AoE engaged tanks, something like the Anubarak, the Blaze. And actually, the Varian is going to get picked by Cosmos for, is that Mosley? And the Anduin's going to get locked in for Nay. Now, I really like this Anduin Varian pick because, I mean, Varian actually is able to dash in pretty quickly. And with the Light Bomb on top of him, would definitely be able to get that engage going. And then on top of that, Anduin is the best counter to Varian, able to protect anyone who gets taunted or able to pull Varian further back if they time it correctly. But Dragon Gall Z, they're going to lock in the Nazebo for Autumn and Leoric for Porthos. So with that, and like I was saying, Leoric does combo extremely well with Stukov. The Entomb with the body blocks from the Skeleton King or the Janitor, depending on your skin, with that Lurking Arm provides so much damage and so much control. It's so difficult to play into it. The Anduin will make it a bit better, but if the Entomb catches more than one player, it really does change the whole dynamic of the fight. But now Tracer is going to be the final ban coming out of Cosmos. They want to get rid of anything that will zip, zap, zoom around, especially with those multiple dashes, those free autos. Varian definitely would struggle catching it, and I've never seen the interaction, but I'm pretty sure as a Tracer, you can pull that Varian very far back. And Dragon Gall Z going to ban away the Blaze. I do think it's interesting that Blaze is slow, or at least a little bit, coming back into the meta. I mean, I think with the Dahaka nerfs is slightly better than before, but that's an interesting pick. The Asmodan locked in for Odd Thought, and the Tychus for Imbuement. Okay, they have a really solid pushing and sieging composition. The Globe of Annihilation alongside any kind of push from the Odin, and even without the Odin, just the grenades deal a lot of damage over to structures. And it definitely seems like that's the play that Cosmos is going for. They're going for a burst pick-off composition, and if that doesn't work for you, siege. But Nova going to pick the ETC, not going to pick the skin quite yet. And No More Heroes going to lock in the Greymane. Okay, now that's a really fun hero to watch as well. Please be the Worgen build. Okay, honestly, I think I just need to start spamming Greymane a little bit in my Storm League. Because I maintain, I think that level 1 talent on Greymane is so broken. 15 armor is so much. Especially if you're able to be in a position where you can get healed. You can just roll back to your healer. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just memeing. So until I get beaten with it, like, I'm not going to shut up about it. But Dahaka is still going to be there. Still going to be the legend. And will be the 10th pick for Cosmos. And they're actually going to swap around a little bit. It is going to be Mosley on Dahaka and Silver Jackal on the Varian. So those two did swap. And I also learned for the first time that it swaps the player names instead of the hero. So, I mean, small detail, doesn't really matter. But either way, we got our drafts. We got the 2 team comps set up. And now all we have left is game number 1. All right, and we are just now loading into Tomb of the Spider Queen for game number 1 between Dragon Gall Z and Cosmos. Now, it is going to be, at least for now, gonna be viciousness. Never lucky. I mean, Greymane is still really good in human form. This is just a personal preference. I think Worgen build is so much fun. Though I am aware in almost every situation it is strictly worse. Well, I'm still going to be in denial about it, but I am actually aware of it. I don't know if that makes sense, as we do have a pause and we do have a bot. Boom. So that was unfortunate timing for that. As that will be our second pause of the day. So it looks like we had 2 days without pauses, but don't you worry, we are back on it. And I'm not sure why there's a pause. As soon as I get an update, I will let you know. I don't know how long this pause is going to be. I usually try not to turn on the music unless I know it is a longer one. Because sometimes you have those split-second pauses. I turn on the music. They immediately start the game. And then I have to turn off the music and all that. It doesn't sound like a pain, but I want to miss as little as possible of the game. And while I'm moving around the music, I definitely cannot focus on the cast. Nor can you see the game until I turn it off. And yeah, it does seem like it was a short one. Should be getting started soon. The team that paused has already said they're ready. And the other team has obliged. So should be just a couple moments. They're counting in. Gotta turn the chat off. And there we go. We are back into the game. Back into the action. Haven't missed a single thing yet. And now both teams are going to start running to the mid lane. All 10 members are coming here. The real question is who's going to try and make that first move. Right now, Silnova immediately going to dash into the brush. I don't think they had vision of Silver Jackal. We'll be able to get them with the power slide, but not going to have too much follow-up after that. And now it's time for the Globes of Annihilation. And it is going to be Greed. So it will be that sieging build coming out of Odd Thought. Now, a lot of the time, I do see Gluttony definitely a lot better in terms of PvP context. But it does seem like their main focus is just going to be to try and shove out these structures. As Silnova going to get jumped on by Silver Jackal. But this variant's not level 4 yet, so not really a hero, just kind of a glorified minion. As Porthos and Mosley are trading a little bit over in the bot lane, but they're 2 pretty big beefcake. He'll try and keep an eye out on the health bars on the top, but I don't expect either of them to really be going down anytime soon. As Silnova will get taken down to half HP. And that will be that for now. Both sides just kind of ping-ponging these builds. Is it around the same? Yeah, it is still the same way as Stack Annihilation. But yeah, the waves are just kind of going back and forth. And now the first real move, Dragon Gall Z, going to get started on their Bruiser camp. It is going to be no more heroes in Moogle. And that is one of the main advantage of having that Greymane. Greymane is so fast at taking down those neutrals. Now Porthos is going to catch the mid wave. Just help buy a little bit of time. The top side is getting cleared right now by Autumn and by Silnova. Silver Jackal looking to play aggressively. But again, without the taunt, not really able to get any plays going. And now Dragon Gall Z, they have the first push coming through in the mid lane. This Bruiser camp should be able to deal quite a bit of damage. It will get cleared away a little bit by the Globe of Annihilation as well as the Overkill. And with Dragon Gall Z leaving, they're actually not going to be able to get too much of a push in the mid lane after all. All 5 members of Cosmos did come for that answer, but now level 4 is there for Dragon Gall Z. They do have the talent advantage. Could be an excuse to go in, but Cosmos will match as both sides, once again, just kind of trying to get their levels. Porthos will be turning in 13. Mostly just going to walk right past that. They have the taunt, and with that, that will actually be the first blood going the way of Cosmos. Imbuement with more than enough damage in that minigun, going to be able to get that first kill for the team. And with that, despite the first camp going over the way of Dragon Gall Z, they are going to have that experience advantage. And interestingly enough, they're also going to have the gem advantage. 34 total-ish for Dragon Gall Z, and Cosmos at around the 40-something mark, as Silver Jackal able to turn in quite a bit more. But it doesn't matter how many gems you have unless you are able to turn them in. As we see, Nay and Imbuement are also going to get started on their Bruiser camp now. It will definitely be slower. It'll definitely be a little bit later to start. As Moogle trying to get that turn in the zombie wall, going to buy a little bit of space. Silver Jackal trying to cancel Moogle, but with a face melt, they will be able to just stop it. Jar of Spiders as well. And speaking of Jar of Spiders, it is just going to be the overall build coming in from Autumn. It's not going to be the Spider Jar. It's not going to be anything else, but the Chastise does land. A lot of damage on the Soul Nova. Lurking Arm is going to prevent any kind of follow-up. Mosley will get the dragon. Will be on to No More Heroes, but No More Heroes will be able to just dash away. Mosley starting to get low, but the Porthos is actually going to get finished off. And that's just so much damage onto that Leoric. Drain Hope and the heals coming out of the of Moogle just not going to be enough for that. Already used the burst heal over for that ADC, and now Moogle could be in a bad spot. The drag will land, and the taunt to follow up, and Moogle will also go down, and it's now 3-0 in favor of Cosmos. Now Porthos at the very least will be able to push in the bot lane, but Cosmos in return will be able to summon the Web Weavers, and actually won't even be able to shove a bot. Brush Stalker was used by Mosley just to help defend against it. Now the red Web Weavers are descending, and it looks like right now the main push is going to be towards the mid lane. Now already at 124 stacks of greed, so not going to have the extra range for the Ray of Annihilation for this push, but I do think they'll have it next time, as No More Heroes is going to get jumped upon. Chastise to follow, as Imbuement stuck inside the zombie wall. Not going to take too much damage from it, or actually about half HP, more than I thought, but we'll still be fine. Chastise going to land on a Soul Nova. Soul Nova starting to get a little bit low. No more. They're trying to heal, and Soul Nova actually almost went down. Silver Jackal looking for the Lion's Fang over into the back line. Not going to be able to land it. And with that, the mid lane Web Weaver will go down, but so will most of this wall. And if they really want to, I think they probably could finish off the wall, but not going to bother with it. Globe of Annihilation not going to land. But the real damage is happening over on the top side. The top fort will immediately go down, and now Autumn not going to get jumped upon, but Cosmos got a ton of value from this first set of Web Weavers. Almost a full level lead as well, and now Porthos is in the mid lane. They have 2 here, but the Wraithwalk is going to come through. The Chastise not going to land, but they do have the taunt, have the extra damage as one. Porthos will get burst down. Imbuement with the minigun, able to provide so much DPS onto that Leoric, and look at all those gems that are lost. It is still, they only need 5 more gems to turn in, but that's a massive loss for Dragon Gall Z and a massive gain for Cosmos. Now Imbuement is going to get started on the siege camp over in the bot lane, and I think Dragon Gall Z, they definitely want to try to get the turn in, as Mosley is going to land the drag. Soul Nova's here with Porthos. Moogle's on the way. We see it on the minimap, but it is level 10 for Cosmos, so this could be a fight that they want to take themselves. But 4 members strong now from Dragon Gall Z. Level 10 definitely not going to be coming out anytime soon. And they just need someone to turn in. Porthos was looking for it, but Othal was there. And Silver Jackal just defending the top side. And that's the nature of this map. You're able to get an advantage if you know passively your team will push. As Soul Nova is getting jumped upon, will dodge out that Globe of Annihilation. If you're able to get the advantage, especially in this middle vertical line, it's so difficult to play into it. The snowball is so difficult to break. But now level 10 has been matched by Dragon Gall Z. They do need to clear their waves before they can start playing forward and attempting for a turn-in. They can try sneaking it in, but they don't really have the heroes for that. as it is going to be the demonic invasion coming in from Odd Thought. And with this damage, they're able to clear out quite a bit of the fort. Gargantuan going to get used for the defense, and Imbuement just trying to tank Nova trying to get the turn in as well. Won't be able to, and Mosley just keeping an eye on that bottom shrine as well. And they're playing a really solid defense here on the side of Cosmos, but Porthos eventually will be able to get the turn in. But they delayed it for a very long time. That's actually pretty good for Cosmos, as they will have almost enough gems for turn in immediately after. The waves are in a decent spot for them. The web weavers aren't going to be able to get quite as much access as Jackal looking for the play, and the mosh pit onto 3 members, but they don't have the damage follow-up. They are looking towards over Jackal, but it is protected. It's going to be getting healed up by Nay. And that will be the end of the play for now. And in fact, Soul Nova's the one that's really starting to burn. The minigun's just doing so much damage, so much value through it. As Porthos will just use the Drain Hope onto Athos, and it will be 3 matching top, 1 matching mid, and just the Haka in the bot lane alone. Does have the Brush Stalker if they do want to try to join in for the rest of the push, as Soul Nova will force them backwards. The taunt coming out from Silver Jackal. Lurking Arm in the mid lane, so Silver Jackal will need to wait before going through that, or will take a lot of damage. But now the Gargantuan also helping out with the push. Imbuement starting to get quite low, but Nay has more than enough healing needed. Lurking Arm coming out from Moogle, but Light Bomb with the swipe gonna be prevented. Good defense coming out from Moogle. And now they did get the wall on the top side, got the wall in the mid lane, and didn't get too much value in the bot side, but that was where Mazu was just kind of tanking it up. But that was still a really solid push coming in for Dragon Gall Z. But unfortunately, it's going to immediately get matched by Cosmos, bringing in their own web weavers. And again, they still have the extra push on the top side passively, so the web weavers will be able to provide more value, as Soul Nova is getting taunted, chastised as well. Just the burst damage coming out from Imbuement is going to be more than enough to secure that kill. And really well played, as another demonic invasion going to get tossed over into this mid lane. The web weavers will follow, and it's going to be all 5 members of Cosmos here. Now to the disintegration rate is going to come out from Odd Thought, as they are jumping onto Moogle, and the Globe of Annihilation comes through, but Moogle's already gone. What is this? All Shall Burn. Sorry, that's the name. Disintegrate is from Li Ming. But yeah, the mid fort is gone. Porthos will be able to clear away this bot side, but the top wall, that's where the real push is coming in. All Shall Burn dealing so much value. Full greed stacks as well. So it's going to give more range, and the Demon Warriors are going to be even stronger. Now they are in an even talent here. This could be an opportunity to fight, as Silver Jackal looking to play forward, still tanking onto the fort. Soul Nova looking for Mosley as well. And they're both still just tanking onto this keep. But with the web weavers, it's so hard for Dragon Gall Z to play forward. Just a couple more bursts. Globe of Annihilation going to land as well. All 5 members are here for both teams. Soul Nova will get taunted, and now the Light Bomb, but the swipe will prevent it. Porthos looking for a play, has the two, but it's only on a Silver Jackal. And with the Leap of Faith, they will be protected. Now Mosley is in the middle of everyone, not going to get caught by the zombie wall. And All Shall Burn looking for the backline as the dance is coming in. They're looking for everyone. The Lurking Arm will find 1, will find 2. And Dragon Gall Z will be able to bring it back at least a little bit. But Moogle tanking quite a bit, will get finished off by Imbuement. Imbuement just standing their ground, able to trade 1 back with the laser drill as well. It's still a victory overall for Dragon Gall Z, but it's definitely, but Cosmos didn't lose too much for it. They do have enough for turn-in, and I think that's really where the biggest difference is going to come through. Dragon Gall Z did not have that many gems, and because of the ones they were able to take off of Cosmos, they'll be able to get quite a few. And welcome everyone from Gyarados King's channel. We are in game number 1 of Division D, Dragon Gall Z versus Cosmos. It's been pretty back and forth so far, but Cosmos currently have a little lead, but the web weavers are on their way. Now you're caught up. Let's all enjoy this match. The Gargantuan is going to be coming through. Porthos is getting jumped upon. Mosley's in the back, but not going to be able to land the drag. We'll just go into stasis and back away. And now this top lane fort just needs a little bit more damage, but I don't think the web weavers will have enough, so they will be able to keep it alive at just 1500 HP. Now the mid lane web weaver not even going to be able to clear out the wave of Soul Nova. Gonna get taunted. Light Bomb as well. Soul Nova before the swipes can even come out, will just get burst down entirely. Now, Porthos trying to get a little bit of value over in this bot lane, but again, because their waves were so pushed in, it's so hard to get value out of these web weavers. They will get a decent chunk of damage onto these forts, but I don't think they'll be able to finish any one of these off. And now Cosmos already waiting for the boss, trying to get set up. They will actually take the bottom fort. So they finally have a lane that's not only even, they actually still have their own fort on the bot side. So Dragon Gall Z have a lane to play through. But Cosmos still going to definitely have the better position on the map. They're going to get started on this boss, and they're going to be able to probably get this pretty freely. Porthos is on the way, but the boss is already low. Porthos trying to run in with Wraithwalk. They see Nay. Solnova's there as well, but with the Chastise, will be able to prevent it. And now they could look to fight, but it will be fighting with the boss now. As Solnova's in a really bad spot, Gargantuan trying to deal some damage. Dragon Laser Drill just DPSing on a Solnova. Now the Mosh Pit is going to come through, but Light Bomb onto the back line. Solnova was able to buy some space, but the boss is providing so much more value. It's going to be a double kill now for Cosmos. And they're looking to push through this top side. This could be an angle to try and end the game here. The boss is still really healthy, and this keep is not. 1 hit, 2 hits, and now they're looking for the core. It's still 25 seconds. Tank healer combo. Both gone. Porthos gonna get burst down with the Globe of Annihilation as well. No More Heroes also low. Has to heal back up. And can they defend it? It's just going to be Autumn and No More Heroes. They are the DPS, but Autumn will go down. No More Heroes will follow. And that will be Cosmos winning game number 1 and getting that first point in this series against Dragon Gall Z. And really well played by Cosmos. They had control of the map. And like I said, with Tomb of the Spider Queen, you got to get control early and you got to hold on to it. They were able to do that. They were able to take the win for themselves. And hopefully they can bring this momentum to game number 2 of the series as well. Now with that, I am going to go on a short little break. And after that, we'll be back with game number 2. Don't go anywhere. And we're all actually, before I do go, we're at halfway for the NGS t-shirt giveaway. If you got any of those channel points, put them into the giveaway down below. And once we hit 100K at the end of whatever stream it was on, I will be giving away an NGS t-shirt for anyone in chat who joins the raffle. So be sure to throw your points there to a good cause, and I'll see you after the break. All right, and we are back with the second draft, and we are going to Infernal Shrines for game number 2 between Dragon Gall Z and Cosmos. Now, fun little fact about Dragon Gall Z. I am Canadian, and I've always said Z, right? And specifically for Dragon Ball Z, me and my friends have always called it Dragon Ball Z. So it's the hardest thing ever for me to say their team name properly. That's a little fun fact. I guess it's less about the team and more about myself. But, you know, I'm selfish, so that's why I talk about myself a lot. But I digress. We're getting into the game. Brightwing is going to be the first band coming out of Dragon Gall Z. And they do seem to be targeting that out. They don't want to deal with a Brightwing. That Soothing Mist, massive cleanse, phase shift, massive heal is able to be there really whenever needed. And then just a lot of really strong abilities as well. Got that instant polymorph, got that instant spell armor. Definitely worth just removing. Now, Cosmos, last time they did ban away the Garrosh, and they're going to ban it away this time as well. Just going to get the same ban both times. I should do this. In one moment, Cosmos 1. And let's start the new prediction immediately. I'm really good at this, I swear. But now, second ban is going to be coming through from Dragon Gall Z. Last time they did ban away the Johanna. Infernal Shrines, Johanna is still quite strong, so I would be surprised to see it not banned away, as they will continue on with that Johanna ban. And finally, I'm trying to remember who Cosmos banned away last time. I know they banned away... Was it Zul'jin? I don't know. All these games are just mixing into my head. I will be honest, I'm lacking a little bit of sleep tonight, but oh, it's going to be great as soon as I do lie down afterwards. It's going to be the best feeling in the world. I swear, who did they ban? Stitches! That's right. Yeah, it was the Stitches ban. I was even talking about Bones playing Stitches the other day. Yeah, okay. Solid ban, and they're kind of targeting Soul Nova. Soul Nova did play that EDC last time to medium success. I wouldn't say it was amazing. I wouldn't say it was terrible. I mean, just played a solid game of ETC. And this time, they're not going to go with the Stukov first. They're going to lock in the Anduin for Moogle. That will provide the Light Bomb play. That will provide the safety from the Leap of Faith. And as well, depending on the draft, sometimes it still ends up happening, even if it is an Anduin first pick, where Holy Word Salvation, that healing dome, ends up being incredibly powerful. But now Cosmos is going to lock in the Sylvanas for Imbuement and the Oriole for Nay. Now, Oriole is still quite strong, and this is still my favorite part about NGS and Heroes of the Storm as a whole. I'm starting to slowly but surely see teams learn how to play into Oriole. Obviously, she has not been meta for a very long time, so I'm not surprised that a lot of players have kind of like not been used to playing into it. And she's still strong in the right games, so that's just what makes it more fun. As we do have Janet or Leoric locked in for Porthos. And Soul Nova locks in the Diablo. They're going to have that beefcake frontline once again. And I'm wondering if Cosmos will try to lock in that Tychus this time around. Because there's a lot of value in that Tychus this game. Now, if they do, they wouldn't be able to lock in the Asmodan for Odd Thought. I believe Imbuement was the one that played the Tychus last time. I'm not sure if Odd Thought can play Sylvanas or the Tychus. Not saying they can't, just saying I'm not sure. But I digress, because Tracer, once again, going to be the ban coming out of Cosmos. And I believe Dragon Gall Z, last time they banned away the Blaze. And it was the same matchup. It was Leoric. So probably will end up being the Blaze ban once again. Also still really good on Infernal Shrines. I mean, every single one of those heroes is just kind of really solid on these two maps. But actually, no, they're going to ban away the Tychus. And I think that makes sense. When you have Diablo and you have Leoric, that minigun gets so much value. Both of them are just, like I said, absolute beefcakes in that front line. Able to just tank forever and ever and ever as long as their HP bars allow. Unless you have max percent HP, which Tychus has innately. So gotta be the correct ban coming out. But with that, Blaze is left available if Cosmos do want to lock that in for themselves. Dehak is available. And they're just going to leave it for now. They're going to lock in the Zagara and the Anubarak. So now with Zagara and Sylvanas, they're going to have very strong push once again. It does seem like it's something Cosmos really likes, at least for this series. And Zaggar is also able to kind of achieve lane dominance. With those tumors, with that extra move speed, able to just provide so much positioning, so much DPS. So going to be interesting to see how Dragon Ball Z does reply to that. As Rainer locked in for Autumn and Junkrat locked in for No More Heroes. Really excited to see how well Jimmy does into this team composition. Now, Anubrak is typically picked as either a hard engage or an anti-mage. But with the Anubrak locked in, should be pretty fun to see how it's going to be played. I think that this team composition is definitely going to be that hard engage. And with Sonya locked in for Mosley, definitely going to be following in on that hard engage team composition. They'll have the leap. They have the burrow charge. Impale to follow. Wailing arrow from Sylvanas over top unless they do go for that mind control. I mean, both heroics can be pretty good depending on the situation. But with that, we have our drafts. Game number 1 went towards Cosmos, but can Dragon Ball Z push us to a 3-game series? Let's find out now. All right, and we are into Infernal Shrines, map number 2 between Dragon Ball Z and Cosmos. Cosmos looking to get themselves the domination against Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball Z looking to get their first map win of the season, I believe. But we'll see how they're able to play. I mean, they're not looking out of their depths. They definitely look like they're able to win. They look like they can definitely show up in these fights and get some victories. Now the question is, how much will they be able to get here? Now some of the talents are coming through. It is going to be the Banshee's Curse slow and the extra % health damage. I think that's a really good talent to take because, well, for the same reasons why Tychus was good. A lot of beefcakes on the side of Dragon Ball Z. And now they have the traps and they have the tumors already coming through, but Moogle able to clear away one. What are these things even called? They are roaches. Okay, I was pretty sure they were roaches. But the Roach is able to provide a lot of damage over to this back line. Failings as well, just cruising on into this line as Moogle trying to body block, but Porthos is the one getting hit by the Impale. But the healing coming out of Moogle will prevent any further follow-up, and that'll just be that play ending. It is going to be Flash Heal talent coming in, not the Light Well. So going to be pretty interesting to watch from that Anduin. Does kind of rely on healing multiple targets. But now Solnova looking for a nade, but the Impale onto Autumn as Imbuement dealing so much damage. Concussion Mine will throw them back, but with the Haunting Wave will be safe. Now they are still trading back and forth. Autumn does have a little bit of self-heal, so can afford to kind of trade more and more as they do fight. Even slight losses could end up being a victory overall for Autumn, for that Jimmy, for that Rainer. Now both sides going to start on their siege camps as both tanks going to duke it out 1v1. Let's go. This is the real fight. Solnova versus Silver Jackal. And looks like Solnova's able to get that push. Okay, yeah, that's done. But both sides going to be able to cleanly take out their siege camps. And 4 members strong from Cosmos down here. And now Solnova, good look for Silver Jackal. Could be a difficult fight though. They definitely have more numbers here for Cosmos. But they're not going to be going in for that fight yet. As Porthos going to block out this mid lane. Mosley going to join as well. But the real fight going to be here. Detainment Strike lands on a Solnova. Autumn going to heal back up with the help of Moogle. And it's just going to be little trades back and forth. Now the first shrine should be spawning. I believe it's at 3 minutes. But Silver Jackal going to use the Burrow Charge with that Unstoppable will be safe. 2 back away. And the Bruiser Camp going to get started by Nay. Going to get helped by Odd Thought. Is a little bit low on mana on the Zagara, but should be able to get back. Should be able to get that mana back. Should be able to reset and get back on the map before the shrine spawns. Now the Siege Camp will get finished off by Dragon Ball Z. And with that, they should have a pretty free push over in this bot lane, at least passively, as Porthos trading into Mosley and doing quite well, I may add. As the Bruiser Camp will get finished off by Cosmos, and the Bruiser Camp will get started by Dragon Ball Z. So overall, Dragon Gall Z did get the extra camp, so Silver Jackal just kind of standing there with the help of all the Scarabs trying to clear it away. Definitely not the fastest DPS for it, as Porthos is getting jumped upon, kind of trading with Odd Thought, and with the Drain Hope, will be fine overall. Only gets taken down to half HP. And the Bruiser Camps are going to be pushing into the top side. Someone over looking for Mosley. Not going to be able to get the overpower. And Imbuement just DPSing back onto No More Heroes. As the Skeletons have been started, it's already a decently solid lead for Dragon Gall Z. 12-1 so far. But Sonova is going to get jumped upon. And with the Detainment Strike, Leap of Faith actually going to buy enough space. So now Imbuement is in a bad spot. Will get stunned into the wall. But with the with the Haunting Wave, we'll be able to get out with just 100 HP. Nay will be able to heal them back up, but that's still your Sylvanas out of the fight for a while as they do double up on the CC, and they will be able to get Soul Nova. Imbuement once again taken down low, but that will be first blood going towards Cosmos. Porthos is getting jumped on as well as Cosmos. They took the lead for the Skeletons. They have the lead in numbers, and they have the talent advantage as well. These little roaches, all these little Zergling coming out from Odd Thought as Porthos also gets jumped upon. Odd Thought will almost have enough DPS, and with the final shot coming out of Imbuement, that will be the 2-for-0, and that will be the Punisher going the way of Cosmos. And now how much can they get with this? It is an early game Punisher, so not the strongest one, but at the same time, the Mortar Punisher is so good with the push. And Silver Jackal looking for Sonova as well, has the double CC. But will be able to take down the wall, but the Punisher's already at less than half HP. So it's really going to come down to how much more do they want to go for. They don't want to use their black arrows on this, but they will come through and try and steal away the siege camp. So they will take the wall, they will steal the camp. Sonova trying to find an angle, but unfortunately it isn't there. Their siege camp will go down and will get stolen by Cosmos. And with that, any camp lead that Dragon Gall Z did have for a little bit is going to get evened out and more. Cosmos, a full level lead now, almost a full level lead over Dragon Gall Z. And right now, it doesn't really matter too much because it's level 8 to level 9. But I think by the time the next Punisher is up, it will be that level 10. It will have that heroic advantage in favor of Cosmos. And Mosley also pushing out in the top side, able to get a little bit of damage over onto this wall. Just getting little bits of value here and there with that push. Porthos is going to be there to catch the rest of the soak, but we'll still be losing out a little bit. And now there's a pretty solid push starting to build up over in this mid lane. There's no one here to defend it from Dragon Gall Z. And it will be all 5 members with the black arrows with the siege camp. So they will get the siege camp over on the bot side for Dragon Gall Z, but they will lose their fort for it. So definitely a winning trade for Cosmos, as they're able to just outplay in the macro. Now Soul Nova and No More Heroes, and really the entire squad, half of it anyway, gonna be here to clear out this mid lane. The siege camp that they had over in the bot side gonna get cleared away pretty quickly as well, so no huge response there either. Now the next shrine is gonna be over in this bot side. It will be the Frozen Shrine. Level 10s are now there for Cosmos. Dragon Gall Z do need to get them before they fight Imbuement. Will throw out the black arrows. Soul Nova gonna get hit by the Detainment Strike and the Impale and the Burrow Charge. Just everything thrown onto Soul Nova, but they're able to stun back. And the Maw able to land onto 2. And Autumn and No More Heroes trying to get away. They're able to get No More Heroes out. Soul Nova is low. Imbuement looking for that extra kill as Autumn will come back in. And with the Burrow Charge, they're able to get that kill. Cosmos with the 3rd kill of the game. And now the heroic abilities are there just after they lose the Rainer. Silver Jackal is in a bad spot. Apocalypse coming through. Not going to land onto anyone, though. And the push is still continuing. Bro Charge has come through, but there's just no DPS right now without the Rainer. The Rainer will be respawning now. No More Heroes just not able to provide as much damage. Riptire got to get thrown out. Looking towards Silver Jackal with a little bit of an extra jump. Not going to be enough to finish it off. And the bot lane fort will go down, and 1 extra kill going to Cosmos as they're able to retake their full level lead over Dragon Gall Z. Now Porthos and Mosley are playing over in this top side. The shrine will activate though, and the Bruiser camp has already been started by Cosmos, and they should have this push in the top side. Now, how much can Dragon Gall Z get in return over in this bot lane? They're definitely not going over to their bruiser camp. It looks like they just want to get at least a little bit of a push over the bot lane, but Silver Jackal and Authot, they're just already here. The pacing, the macro pacing coming out of Cosmos is just so high. It's so difficult to answer for Dragon Gall Z as Hyperion is coming out. Light Bomb as well. Imbuement will get caught into it, stunned into the wall. Overpower is going to come through, and Imbuement once again at 70 HP as the Maw does get onto their DPSs during the entombment. Porthos will be the first to go down. Cosmos, they're both DPSs were so low, but they're just not able to get the kill. And Soul Nova will get jumped upon, and it's another 2-0. Now Leap by Mosley, but Autumn will get saved by the Leap of Faith. But there you have the Bruiser Camp pushing top. They have the Skeletons going down here, and they're also going to try and steal away the Siege Camp. Level 13 talents are also up for Cosmos. But now Soul Nova could be looking for this play. They're able to stun up Silver Jackal into the wall. They have the Apocalypse, and they will be able to get themselves that one kill. Porthos looking to play aggressively. Imbuement is kind of in a bad spot, but with a Haunting Wave, will be able to just jump away. Mind Control does land onto Moogle, and they're just going to burst down this poor Anduin, and Soul Nova will follow. Just another 2-for-1 in favor of Cosmos. They still have the Bruiser Camp pushing top lane, getting a lot of value there. And they have the Frozen Punisher in this bot lane, still at 100% HP as it approaches the bot lane wall. Now, No More Heroes is going to get jumped upon. Really fancy use of the Concussion Mine, so will be in a pretty safe spot. And now they will finish off this wall. The Punisher is still at 2/3 HP even. And they're going to get started on this bot lane keep. They're doing well. They have the lead coming out from Mosley, and they're able to take down Jimmy. As Nate will try to run away. Almost gets taken down by the keep, but will be alive. Will survive through it. The Punisher going to get started onto this core, but it's already not super healthy. Level 13 going to finally be there for Dragon Gall Z. So they're just going to clear out this wave, and Cosmos, they're happy with the lead they got. They're happy with the advantage they got, and they're willing to back away and wait either until the next Punisher or their next talent lead. We're just going to have to see. But either way, 2 full level lead now. The Bruiser Camp is up and available for Dragon Gall Z if they do want to start taking that, and they do get started on it immediately. And they should be able to clear it out decently quickly. There is a wave hitting onto the core, but without any cannons, it's not really going to end up doing any damage. So they will be fine in that regard, as Mosley looking to finish off this top lane fort. And actually the minions might be able to, even with this Bruiser Camp on the way. In fact, the Ancient Spear going to be more than enough. But now Mosley is alone here. Have the Light Bomb, but the Leap is going to provide the safety. And Mosley just going to be able to back away. A trade of heroics. But with the fort going down, you definitely take that on the side of Cosmos. Now Hyperion used for defense. Porthos trying to respawn as well. Just a lot of damage being dealt onto these walls. Nay able to heal the team back up through the Hyperion. Doesn't matter too much. It will clear away the wave a little bit, but not enough. Oddthought still going to be spawning in those roaches. Silver Jackal still spawning in those scarabs. The Riptire is coming through, but the entire side of Cosmos has already backed away. And they will be able to stun it with the Bro Charge, but that'll be it. Now level 16 is up. They already used their black arrows though, so may have a little bit of a cooldown before they go forward. They are coming in from the side. They're looking for the engaged Cocoon on a Soul Nova. And Silver Jackal has the Impale Mind Control as well. And they're able to take down the Raider. Now Soul Nova in a bad spot using the Apocalypse. Not going to land onto anyone. Now Mosley going to get put into the backline. And the Maw will land. They have the Anduin. They're looking for Moogle. And Moogle with the leap as well. Just going to get absolutely deleted. Soul Nova caught into the wall. They're going to be between the wall and the hard place. And they have the Entomb onto 4 with the Concussion Mine. But when everyone's gone, there's just no DPS behind it. And it looks like Cosmos looking for the domination already. 12-minute game. No More Heroes will end up going down. Porthos is the last survivor. As now Autumn will reset. Gonna try and walk in and push them back a little bit. But this is going to be a hard one. Mind Control and the Impale. Autumn will get finished off here. Silver Jackal almost traded back. Porthos will finally be able to get it with a Drained Hope. But either way, that will be game. The Resurrect coming through. Porthos will go down, and Cosmos will get the domination. And with that, Cosmos having an absolutely amazing showing today against Dragon Gall Z. They're gonna get the domination. They're gonna get the full 4 points. Now, I'm going to try and find that little bit of an interview. And, I mean, this just really shows the entire the state of that game. Top 4 DPSs are all Cosmos. The only one not on there is their healer on that Oreo, who has 47,000 healing. I don't remember the time just because, you don't get that as one of them spectators, but I digress. Now, give me one moment as I do try and get an interview set up. So it's hard to type and talk at the same time. Old-fashioned skill. All right, but with that was the end of the game, and I believe... Ooh, sorry. I do believe... Let me take a look at the rankings. Yeah, that'll put Cosmos up to 12 points. So kind of bridging the gap between the top 3 and the bottom 4. So this is a pretty big win, as they do have a few members joining in for the interview.
Evening, sir.
Hello, hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. How are you today?
Pretty good. Dominations always feel good.
All right, and I am joined here by Silver Jackal and... I'm sorry, Matt, who were you in the game? Or
Nobody.
I'm just here for morale and support.
All right, the emotional support Matt is who we're joined with as well. But,
He's our emotional support sub. He gives us all the support.
Yeah, I'm a sub that plays on the team, but...
Secret weapon.
All right. Well, always good to have you regardless.
Thank you.
But with that, first of all, congratulations on your domination, that 2-0 win. How does it feel?
Pretty good. It always feels better to get the domination to be dominated.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? Now, I think one of the main first questions I do want to ask is, looking over at the Division D standings, there does seem to be a pretty big gap right now between the top 3 teams and the bottom 4 teams. Now, especially with that domination, you're now sitting at 12 points, just firmly in between those 2 sections. Do you think you can try and make it into that top half? Is that what you're going for? Or is right now the focus just get into playoffs and do what you can there?
We've been doing a lot of roster changes and role swaps, so I think we're starting to get our mojo. So hopefully we can get in the top, at least, at the very least, we want playoffs.
Yeah, I was going to say, the first couple of weeks may have been a little rough, and, scheduling and roster changes and people changing positions and all that, but... the last couple of weeks, I think our team played pretty darn well. Yeah, so I think stay the course and probably just, try to make the playoffs and see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. And I noticed specifically in your games today, you had some really fast macro pacing, especially compared to the other teams in this division. Now, is this something you've been practicing specifically, or is this just something that came naturally with time?
I think I just yell at people, and before I was playing DPS and not yelling at people.
I mean, definitely would make a difference.
The macro play, no, I mean, I was just observing, take, for example, the last game. I thought for sure the enemy team would probably play a better macro game, but it just kind of didn't work out for them. I thought for sure with the Junkrat and all that they would stall out objectives a little better and all that, but it just didn't work out for them. And Cosmos just doing their thing, just take control of the map and go.
Yeah, 100%. Now, my usual final questions. Are there any shout outs you'd like to give? Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans out there?
Of course, shout out to Cosmos, my team, for finally getting our act together. I was about to swear. Sorry about that. Shout out to you for casting. Always appreciate it. Makes it a lot more fun.
Thank
Shout
you
out
so much for
to
casting.
yeah, and shout out to DBZ as a fun match, and shout out to NGS so we don't have to be stuck in Storm League.
Yeah, that last one is the most important one. He always huge shout outs to NGS. Wouldn't be able to cast without them either. So
Yeah, I mean, big shout out to NGS for keeping this going and making this competition fun. And we're streaming at the chat and Twitch and all that, and trying to keep this thing going. And shout out to my teammates. Thank you for letting a knucklehead like me being part of the group. And on a personal note, people I play pots with regularly: Slim, Lubin, Marbuckle, Brenna,
None
and
of that
all
was
my
good.
other friends.
Let's give one more shout out for me. Shout out to Teddy. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, awesome.
all right. Well, thanks for coming to the interview, and once again, congratulations on your domination.
Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night.
And you too.
Thank you so much.
Good night. And now with that, we are done for the day. I believe this was the last series. Gyarados King was the other one. Yeah, not going to be too much. Not going to be any other cast coming in, so I will just be ending my stream. I am doing a single cast tomorrow for a change of pace, so I'll be live 6:30 Pacific with a game in the Heroic Division, Blue and the Beta Males versus Duratan's Couch. So be sure to mark your calendars, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night.